Every single day I get the question of whether or not XRP is still worth buying. And the simplest answer is, as of this point, I still believe that we haven't seen the craziest for XRP just quite yet. And when I talk about the craziest, I basically mean that even though the lawsuit is practically over, as the SEC withdrew their appeal, and that basically means that right now as it stands, only Ripple is fighting for the lawsuit to change, but the SEC took it back saying, hey, you know what? We don't want to fight this whole thing anymore. And it's quite logical from Ripple's side they're fighting it because they want to eventually IPO. And it's not so nice if you just had to pay a massive fine for something and are stopped from doing a certain other thing, which is again selling XRP to accredited investors to some extent. And so it's quite logical they're doing that. But for us as XRP holders, really for the most part, this is all just positive. I mean, if Ripple cross appeals and continues on like they do now, all that we get is either the same result or something better. As the SEC withdrew theirs, really for the most part, it's Ripple just saying, we don't really want this fine. We didn't really want this whole trouble with the SEC no more. Or I guess these little dots on our record. And well, the SEC side, at least the way things have currently been looking, really is not going to go against any of that. I know a judge, of course, has to look into the file again and has to basically conclude whether or not Ripple has any right to go against this and whether or not they are in the right. But if you get my drift, the SEC stepped out because, well, they're revamping on the rules. And in the Coinbase case, which also got dropped, but Coinbase still is basically putting out similar sort of statements, they again asked the SEC to get a proper framework out there, a proper rule book of sorts. And if you add all those things up, for the most part, it just seems as if the SEC right now is busy making new rules. And so from the way I view it, any previous crypto case, even though I'm from CZ, for example, all those, perhaps might get a complete revamp if they were to be redone. And now for many cases, it doesn't change anything to be redone, but for Ripple's case, it certainly could. And again, this is not a lawyer's opinion. I'm just stating that really whatever's happening here, I don't think there's any real negative side. The only negative side I'm thinking of is Bitcoin getting a massive slashing or some strange event we can't think of just quite yet, some black swan of sorts. Why? Well, if we take a look at XRP's price history over the past few weeks, one thing that becomes quite apparent is that it's one of the most resilient cryptos in the entire top list. And that basically means, again, that out of all the cryptos in existence, it's one of the best performing coins out there. Of course, there's been some meme coins that have done better in that time, but those are way riskier, right? I'm talking about huge volume. You could have entered with huge size and be up. Whereas most coins went down, XRP throughout the last few months is either sideways or perhaps, depending on where you look, slightly upwards, which is pretty huge. Because again, I'm stuck. I was trying to say though, most coins have been mostly downward and many coins are stuck until Bitcoin makes its move. And that basically means once Bitcoin starts pumping again, these coins are revived. But the funny thing is, yes, some of those coins have a better reward potential because if they're down like 95%, for example, and if Bitcoin starts going on a crazy run, if they want to reclaim their all-time high, they have to do a 20x, for example, right? Which again, from that perspective, they might bring you more gains. But you got to realize that many other coins that have gone down now will never recover. And this is a funny thing. If we look back at March or so of 2024, when the AI wave kind of stopped, what a lot of people thought was that, oh no, most of these coins will recover. Even the ones that were just hyped up for the season, they're down now, but once AI starts booming again, they'll do better, which is partially true. I mean, many coins, if AI were to hit in a similar sort of wave again, many of those AI coins will prosper. Now, first of all, AI, it was hot a while back. Right now, it ain't that much. You never really can guarantee yourself the next big wave for cryptocurrencies. Maybe March or so of 2024 was AI coins. The end of 2024 was mostly utility coins and meme coins, right? It was a completely different wave of coins that did really, really well. Now what the next thing is going to be, I still think it's going to be these US-based coins, perhaps RWA still to some extent. And there will be many AI coins that do well. There will be many. But again, if we're talking about risk to reward, if we're talking about what is the highest probability of doing well, for those type of reasons, I stick with coins that I just don't think can go to zero. I think that will stay resilient. and that have proven to be resilient to these times, that have gone down tremendously and also recovered from it. XRP has gone from like $4 almost to 10 cents and recovered from it. Right now going back to $3.30 or something. That is over a span of so many years. From that perspective, I'm thinking, if it was going to go to zero, it would have probably gone to zero when the lawsuit kicked in, the SEC one. But the fact that they were, during this all, basically, during still the battle, so to speak, were able to go to $3.30 or something, I just think this run is going to pop off. And I still do not believe that Bitcoin has hit its highest point yet. And so, putting that all behind us, what is coming up? Well, Ripple's cross appeal could have some interesting parts. New ETFs for XRP could be interesting. Trump supporting it could be interesting. A new Ripple IPO, which again might only happen after the whole lawsuit thing is finished, but there's a couple interesting parts. But that is all besides the point of the actual network, new partnerships from Ripple's side, new introductions, new implementations, all that. You know, the actual cooler parts of the crypto, or just some new wave for cryptocurrency enthusiasm led by Bitcoin. And so when you really start adding things up, the negative sides are quite small. I think it's mostly a comparison game, where if you compare it to other cryptos that are down more, yes, it might gain less. But on the opposite side, once many of those coins start gaining, plus 40%, plus 30% on the daily, you know, XRP stayed more resilient, didn't go down as much. Doesn't mean that it can't go up in a similar fashion though, because I still to this day think it's quite undervalued at the range, the price range that it's in. And so I keep thinking about this for myself. And I always do this sort of analysis whenever I'm sitting here thinking of my investments. I always think about it from that perspective of where do I think most of these will be in 1 year? If I think it will be dead, I pay a lot of caution and I won't be buying dips as heavily. But with coins like XRP, I still believe, by the way, if you're wondering what this is, you're thinking like, oh, what should that be? It's like a handkerchief because they left me some desserts. All right, so that's what that is. So if you're wondering, because I'm looking at it thinking, what is that? And I'm looking back now, it is a handkerchief and desserts. Yeah. And over there, we have the sofa bed. Why is there a sofa bed? I don't know. No real good reason. Anyway, for all y'all, I'll bring back up this post. I think this is one of the more interesting posts that I've seen throughout the ages, and it's the, damn, I wish I bought at point number 1. Haha, I was right for not buying. Screw this stuff at number 2 when things are going down. I think for many that was when XRP just now, like a week or two ago, went below $2. Let's call it about $2 again. I think below $2, and then right now we're back at $2.50, thinking, oh, why didn't I just buy? Our strategy for a long time has just been buy, shut up and buy. For the most part, I've done that on spot a long time, but you got to realize it's also partially because I still have my $302,000 XRP position open that eventually I still think will be so significant. It's just small for right now, but if we get another, again, I described it basically in the previous video. I would like to see another dump for XRP. It's more significant than what we saw here when we went to $1.90 about a week or 2 weeks ago. But mostly also with Bitcoin having a proper structure. And I described in the previous video why. Well, because this move right here with Bitcoin, the way it was looking, was quite scary. There was a very high chance we were going to be dropping down more. You can see some interesting things are popping up in the XRP chart. But as it currently stands from that point on forward, we have actually been trending slowly but surely upwards. And as of this point, if we are able to take out this 256 level from the pump with the lawsuit, and then actually make a bottom, hopefully also above about $2.27 or so, we've officially changed the trend around. And you can see we have a bottom, a top, a bottom, a higher top, a higher bottom, you know, short term, but still regardless. Then again, a higher top and a higher bottom. That would be pretty beautiful to see, because that would again be a shift from the downtrend that we started about, I'm going to say, when Trump launched his meme coin, right? The 19th, I believe, or so of January. Again, it's been mostly downwards since then. It seems like this bottom was made on 11th of March. And from now forward, it seems like we're going up. By the way, if you're wondering what this platform is, it is Blowfin. I've got a link for that down below. And a while ago, I told you about my demo. This is, again, demo. This is not real, what you're about to see here. No, it's on a different account. I forgot about that. Okay, let's go back to the normal account. Here we go. That's not normal yet. Let me press another button. We're back to the real world of losses. That's at this point, though. Give it some time, all right? Give it some time. Be patient, all right? It will work out. Anyway, even though it's on a different account, I just wanted to say, you know the trade that I opened just for fun? We put $50K into an account. I think it's like $100,000 in profit right now. Again, it's not real, but it was just a fun little trading competition me and some friends had. And it's kind of funny how maybe it's actually, oh, wait, it's 87.4. Okay, I had to go log in to see what it looks like. Yeah, so see, we had an account with $50,000 inside. Again, this is just for fun. And actually, in just that week or so since we bought, it is up $107,000. So just wanted to quickly point out, we bought it right here, sold a bit right after, and basically we bought on that dip. You see, for a little while here, it was actually at a loss in the middle, even though we were in profit right here of almost the same level, because it also went to 87.4. And that's why if we, again, when it came back down, doubled down, we were able to ride the thing back up. Or if we, again, just sold the top, right now, for example, at $100,000 in profit, waited for a turn again, that's sometimes why you don't overtrade. Waited again for a proper entry at 83.5. We could have actually taken this trade twice. Sometimes an interesting thing. You don't only have to wait for it to hit the top. And that's why a lot of my friends actually, they make sure they sell hard on the way up so they can buy back cheaper, look for another entry. And I sometimes am a bit of a lazy one because I know it'll be in so much profit anyway. And I prefer to just make my position bigger without the risk of me selling too early. But again, it's just depending on personal preference. Again, it's quite risky though, because once more, as you can see on this account, once it goes to 82.5, we are fully wrecked. And so if you're doing 50x leverage, which I did right here, or something of that high a degree, I recommend selling actually a lot quicker than plus 250%. But it does show you how much money you can make off of like 50,000 here. We made $100,000 in just like a few days. Actually, matter of fact, it was officially made within like a few hours. But anyway, you get the gist of it. Just wanted to show it for fun. Yeah, so just keep it open. It's just for fun anyway. But besides that, still, guys, I'm so crazy excited about the next few weeks. Hopefully you are too. And yeah, that's about it. A couple of links will be down below to 𝗏𝗏 or a couple of different other exchanges. You can use it from anywhere in the world. Make sure you press the like button if you enjoyed this video. And I've posted my giveaway winners over on X, so make sure you go check it out because maybe you've won.